Now, if you look at New York, we have all communists running. They're all excited. They're going to win their primaries, but I can't imagine they can beat a normal Republican. So I think it's a good thing.
President Trump sounding the alarm as his hometown, New York City, grapples with socialism on the ballot tonight. Big races all across New York. Mayor Zohran Mamdani has put it all on the line. His political clout behind a slate of Democratic socialists who are taking on incumbents with radical positions. They have radical positions like these.
I'm a union organizer. I'm an anti-war activist. And I'm a democratic socialist. Running for Congress right here in the hearts of the commie corridor. We have fascists in the White House. We have a climate denier in the White House. We have a racist and transphobe in the White House.
All deportation is wrong. Is that something you still believe?
That phrase, yes.
People who were convicted of breaking U.S. criminal law. Is the deportation of those people wrong?
Yes.
So that is Chevalier. She also said that she was asked 4 times by people who wanted to support her if she condemned Hamas and their actions on October 7th, their violence on October 7th against Jewish families in Israel. And she wouldn't do it. She was asked 4 times. That's Chevalier. All right. So it's not just socialism, and this is part of it as well. Anti-Semitism also rearing its ugly head in these races and in the Democratic Party. A New York City coffee shop banned Jewish Congressman Dan Goldman over his pro-Israel stance, refunding the coffee he had purchased and taunting him in a social media caption that said, among other things, it said, like, it was really creepy. It's like, we saw you. We saw you in our store. And this is the surveillance photo. And then it went on to say, do you see how it doesn't taste like genocide juice? The DOJ is now investigating this incident. I mean, this was just incredibly appalling. Jesse, I want to start with you on this. It's like, Dan Goldman was led the Trump impeachment. I mean, he has, some would say a pretty good dose of Trump derangement syndrome in many ways. He hates everything Trump, but that is not enough anymore. You have to also be anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, or you're not. It's like a new identity category for politics. Like, then it doesn't matter who you are or what you believe. If they think you fall into that category, they're going to kick you out of the coffee shop.
Yeah, I don't like the Goldman guy very much, but he should be able to buy coffee and not get banned. And they gave him his money back. I mean, what, your money's no good here? They shouldn't do this to guys wearing MAGA hats, or they shouldn't do it to Greg. So I don't like that kind of discrimination. But I will say, when the Democrats screw things up, Democrat voters are going to vote socialist. I'm sorry. Adams blew it. De Blasio blew it. Biden brought all these migrants here. It drove up prices, utilities, rent. So Mamdani, they're like, oh, try a little Mamdani. He sounds maybe dumb enough to do something. And so he's kind of like the Muslim Santa Claus. He's got this big bushy beard and he gives you a bunch of free stuff. Socialism, Jessica, does not work. Never has, never will. But if you've been paying attention to the World Cup, all of these Europeans from socialist countries are coming here and they're dumbstruck by American abundance. Dumbstruck. They love our options, the variety, their air conditioning. They even love our petrol prices. That's what they call gasoline in Europe.
Because they depend on the Strait of Hormuz.
They're even lower here than they are over there. Now, Europe, I think, is ripe for socialism, but so is New York, because you have this huge gap between the rich and the poor that they can exploit. And 40% of New York City is foreign-born. I mean, foreign-born people vote Democrat. They love them. They're also more poor, and so they're more on welfare, so they want to grow the government. 70% of New York City is non-white. Non-white mostly votes Democrats. So you got a guy, foreign-born, not white. He's now mayor, and he's the king. Now, he's screwed a lot of stuff up, but he's got a vibe, and he's made friends with Trump. So if he can just not mess around with the Trump economy, this guy has it all here.
Jessica, this is obviously a battle for the heart of the Democratic Party, and it's pretty vicious. I mean, the coffee shop, I think, is a really good example of what's going on.
The coffee shop is on another level of anti-Semitism, to the point that it has broken through to people that I know who do not pay attention to politics. They're not into the establishment left versus the DSA left. They're like how is something like this happening?
Did they
in
feel
New
that
York
way when
City?
Sarah Huckabee got kicked out of restaurants?
These are not people that are paying a ton of attention to politics, so they're not. I don't think they know that story. I'm not into anyone being kicked out of a place of business if you are not being rowdy and if you are paying your bill. I thought that Congressman Goldman, who's my congressman, handled that beautifully and, complimented the barista who helped them and said I was with my 7-year-old daughter and she couldn't have been nicer to us. I think it's a stain that something like that would happen. Mamdani, if this does not go well for him, it will be a major, major setback. And it will call into question a lot of the proverbial riz.
Or it might
that
save him
people
in
think.
November. It might end up saving him in November if some of them lose.
Well, it's a pretty blue city. So it's not as if, most of these don't even have a Republican
Yes, it is now.
challenger. But I think that there is a big difference between, for instance, Claire Valdez, who you played the original clip of, and then Daria-Liza Chevalier, who's challenging Espelot in New York 13th. She is dangerous. It seems pretty dumb also, and I don't know why Mamdani would waste capital on that. I think also there's a difference between endorsing in an open seat, which is the situation in New York 7, versus going after sitting Congress people. And, Hakeem Jeffries has shown a capacity to be able to push Mamdani away from a challenge. He's done that before. They have a decent working relationship. And I think that it reflects really poorly on him. And certainly if you then do that and then you lose, it's going to look even worse.
Emily.
Yeah, I think I'm horrified by this. I am horrified. At when did the Democrat Party normalize monsters like these? And then the New York City mayor has the nerve to call IPAC, a group of a group of monsters. And just to be clear here, so you just mentioned how he endorsed Chevalier over Espelot. Espelot's the chair of the Hispanic caucus in Congress right now. And Chevalier attended a pro-Palestine rally the day after the October 7th attack on Israel. There is no gray area here, in my opinion. It's pretty obvious that these candidates are absolutely disqualified to even run. And yet somehow they're being celebrated and then endorsed by our super smiley, annoying mayor. These people are pro-defund the police. Every deportation is an abomination. They are against prison altogether. They are against everything that makes a society run. And they continue to display such juvenile comments and tendencies and policies like free buses and free houses, not ever explaining how we're going to pay with them. All they say is there's a fascist White House and a transphobe, and we are supposed to be like, oh, great, you have my vote. This city is going to hell in a handbasket because of the mayor, and I do not understand, you are right, why he is bothering to endorse all of these psychopaths instead of saying, you know what, I'm in the office, I'm going to sit this one out as he should. I hope there's more national leadership that comes out and says all of these people are tragically unqualified and disqualified and turn their backs on everyone. For some reason, they're all celebrated because remember, blue is blue.
I think Mamdani's just feeling as though he got really lucked out with the Knicks winning. And, he got the big parade and everything. He's like, now I want all these socialist candidates. I want to pull them up with me.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.